In a nutshell, what I do for a living is give tactical and legal advice and representation for construction and engineering projects from when the dispute's hoving over the horizon until the arbitration is right behind you and you're holding the award.
I chose Atkin Chambers because when I was a judicial assistant, I saw a number of cases involving members here. It was often some of the most leading and high-value cases, and I realised that that was what I wanted to do, to work on those kinds of cases in a specialist area. I also realised that I enjoyed learning about construction projects without any prior knowledge of them, and thinking about how the consequences of the dispute might affect the people and businesses working on those projects.
I think the thing that's distinctive about the construction bar is having to assimilate a lot of detail, a lot of complexity, and then to present it out in a very simple way. You have to get across the tactical side, the legal side, and also the technical side of a project. Tactical because we're often multi-party, and you need to take some care about what you say against that party because it will affect what you can say down the line. Legally, they are big, complicated contracts. Oftentimes, they're governed by the law of a jurisdiction that is in England. So one needs to assimilate the foreign law, as told to you by foreign co-counsel, and then present that out to an English-based tribunal in a way that they understand. And in terms of the technical, that is the bit that's unique to us. It is our job to understand in great depth, but not great breadth, really quite technical stuff, really very quickly, and then appear at least to understand it better than the other side, and also explain it to a tribunal in a way that makes it seem so easy, so simple, and so obvious it goes without saying.
In my experience, construction law is really applying in contract law principles, tort law principles to disputes arising on construction projects. So in that sense, probably all law students have, to some extent, studied construction law.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, most of us and most law students and lawyers, we actually know more construction law than we think we do. I mean, just thinking back, I remember sort of back in law school, some of the cases that we've studied, Ruxley Electronics, with that famous swimming pool case, Linden Gardens and McAlpine on the assignments and on it. Those were actually all construction cases. But when you're a law student, you just don't really think of it that way. And now that you're in construction practice, sometimes you come across these cases and you sort of realize, well, hang on a minute, actually, I knew quite a bit of construction law even before I started.
I think it's important to remember from practice that you always have experts assisting on these cases that you can ask on if technical issues arise.
In terms of what makes Atkin distinctive as a place to get legal services from, if I can put it that way, I think what sets us aside is that we are all unashamedly taking it very, very seriously. So we are all legal geeks. We are all very interested in getting into the depth of the technical detail and the expert material. And I think we all know that a trial is essentially a drama in 3 acts and ought not to be a tragedy. I think we've got that same quite focused, quite serious approach to our work.
Today's standards, it's relatively small, and that's something we've worked on. I mean, we've always been open to attracting the best at every level, but we've wanted to stay at a size that means that we know each other. So as head of chambers, that's important to me, that I know everybody in the building.
I think Atkin is a distinctive set because it's smaller and everyone specialises. And I think it's that expertise in particular fields that clients come to us for.
We tend to be involved in complex cases. Now, those complex cases may be before the Technology and Construction Court, they may be before arbitrators or adjudicators, they may be before the Court of Appeal or other higher courts. Because of that complexity, what marks our advocacy out, I think, is an ability to cut through to what matters and to present that in a way that is intelligible for the relevant tribunal. I tend to work with a range of clients, so they will vary as between employers, contractors, construction professionals, so they may be architects, they may be engineers of very many different types. the clients may be international, they may be based in the UK.
I have a project which is live at the moment that has 3 tiers of contractual structure. Funders who are contractually entitled to step in but probably won't. Politicians who've got no entitlement to interfere but probably will. And that is at the moment under threat of termination. So we are live giving advice on that. We have to be right, and we also have to be right now. So that's quite interesting. I have to finish a submission on a project which is a pathfinder for a subsea turbine, which is just technically really interesting. You know, the engineering side of that is fascinating. And then I need to get a skeleton argument up for the trial next month.
In terms of international work, that actually is one of the reasons why I came to Chambers, because I know that with construction disputes and arbitrations, a lot of that actually involves international work in other jurisdictions. So that was one of the prime attractions for me when I applied to Chambers. By now, I would say about 50% at least of my practice involves international cases.
My practice varies between national and international work at different times, and the percentage of work that is international at any given point will very much depend on what has come through the door for me. At the moment, for example, most of the work that I'm doing is international, but there will be other periods of my practice when most of my work is based in the UK. One of the great things about practice in Chambers is that if you want an international practice, it is there to be had.
I think the relationship within Chambers is really strong. As I say, we are small, we are organic, we've known each other for a long time. We know that we have been in it and we will be in it for the long run. And the effect of that is a real live and let live mentality.
So it's a friendly place to work, but also there are people around should you want to go to Chambers tea, go to our monthly lunches, there are people around as well.
I love the setting here actually. Working in Gray's Inn is you feel like you're part of history.
The inn is an absolutely lovely haven. It is almost literally the ivory tower in the middle of this beautiful green space.
You walk through and you have all these historical buildings, and the walks in particular are a great place to sort of walk around and mull over a particularly difficult legal problem, or you might go and get a coffee with a colleague in Chambers. And
you step out, you're in High Holborn, you can go to the pub, you can go out for lunch. And as I said again, you can dress as you please unless you're in court or with the clients. So it's a very relaxed atmosphere.
The important thing to bear in mind sometimes, I think people actually get a bit turned off thinking, oh, construction is very niche, I don't know enough about construction, so I don't really think I should do it or should even give it a try. Actually, it's more the other way around. You should try and give it a try, because then you'll realise that a lot of it is actually just things you know applied in a very particular context.